Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I want to jump into questions, and then we have some giveaways and I have cool announcements. So there's a lot of cool stuff to do today. So because Anna is here and she's live and she asked a question, I want to maybe answer that first before anything. And then guys, if you have questions, just start throwing them in our live chat so I can get to them. And I feel like last time we did this, I didn't do enough with the emailed questions. So I will try to do that better this time. I have a list in front of me that I'm looking at so that we get to them. So Anna, you had written, is power yoga or vinyasa yoga recommended for total beginners? If so, do I have to start with a long or short routine? And which frequency for power or vinyasa yoga do you recommend? And then you said, I love you so much. I love you too. So this is a really good question, and it ties into some weird yoga semantics that I think exist. Like, what is power yoga as compared to vinyasa yoga? And really that varies studio by studio. But to give you my breakdown, I kind of define vinyasa yoga as flowing and moving on the breath, so breath-based movement. And I consider power yoga basically the same thing, just doing it with the intention to heat the body. So more of with the goal of a workout and a goal of sweating. So I think vinyasa yoga and power yoga are kind of similar and kind of the same thing, if that makes sense. Power yoga, I feel like, is just this Americanized term to describe vinyasa yoga, or to describe sweaty vinyasa yoga. Chat me, hopefully this is making sense. But I feel there's a lot of confusion around even how yoga classes are labeled, and I would love to help clear that up for people who have questions about that, because it can be hard to even read a yoga studio schedule sometimes. So, and is it recommended for total beginners? So I would stay away from something that says power yoga on a schedule if you're a total beginner, because power yoga implies that they're going to be linking breath and movement, but in a heating way, like in a way that's designed to make you sweat. And if you're a total beginner, it might be too fast for you. So I would stick with vinyasa yoga, or hatha yoga is really great for beginners, because vinyasa yoga, it's this idea of one breath, one movement. So like inhale, lift your arms, exhale, fold. And a vinyasa, right, is that sequence of folding to chaturanga, to up dog, to down dog, which is hard for beginners. It's even hard for me. So I think a hatha class, if you're a total beginner, might be better, because in hatha, instead of it always being one breath, one movement, you tend to hold poses for a longer amount of time. So you might stay in something like triangle pose for a full 5 or 6 breaths, while in a vinyasa or power class, you might flow through that quicker. That being said, any class you go to, just go at your own pace, ignore the teacher, slow it down, make it work for you. And what did you say? And what frequency would you recommend? So I think just doing 15 minutes a day is a great way to start if you're a beginner. And even if it's just 3 times a week, that's great. I really believe in exercising every day. So if you don't do yoga, you know, going to dance class or for a run or for a walk or a jog. But I think 15 minutes a day should be doable for most people. And does this answer your question? I feel like I've been talking. I want to make sure by checking the chat that the people who are here live can still hear me. Awesome. Thank you, Vanessa. Okay, so we just answered Anna's question. And Anna, let me know. I want to hear from you in the comments if you think I actually answered it. But it was basically about beginner yoga and how often to do beginner yoga. This ties into something I wanted to announce actually on this live chat, which I'm really excited about. We're going to be doing the giveaway in just a minute. I want to answer more questions. I have questions that you guys emailed right in front of me. But one of the things that I did want to announce is that I just launched a new program for you guys called the Beginner Yoga Jumpstart. And I actually launched this because I felt like all the feedback you were giving me was that you wanted more classes for beginners that were short and that were 15 minutes. And the beginner morning yoga sequence has been doing really well. I think it's maybe the #1 video on YouTube right now for beginner morning yoga sequence. And the feedback on that video has just been so positive and so great that I wanted to make 4 more videos just like that video. So I put together a special package for you guys to do that. And Anna, you said I answered your question. Another question. What do you think of these Instagram yoga challenges? Do you think they're safe for beginners? We are going to talk all about that, and I actually want to reinvent the Instagram yoga thing, and that is part of my announcements that I have here in front of me. So we are going to cover that in a minute. But yeah, if any of you guys want to join me for this beginner yoga jumpstart program, it's going to be awesome. And I have it for the next couple of days on a special discount price for all of you who are in my community and on the live chat or just on my email group or Facebook group. So it's basically $39, which is, I think, a really great price. You get to download all the videos. You get to ask me questions in a Facebook group. It's 4 exclusive videos that are 15-minute morning routines just for beginners that aren't on YouTube and never will be on YouTube, that are similar to the beginning morning yoga sequence. And then I throw in a bunch of other free videos like lazy yoga, beginner nighttime, some stretches. And the link to check that out, if you guys want to check it out, is directly below this video in the description bar. So it should say bit.ly/, I think it's big jump, which stands for beginner jumpstart. So check that out if you are listening to this and you are a beginner, because an additional bonus cool thing that I'm doing is that if you want to get the jumpstart, you should do that. But if you're also interested in owning yoga blocks, which I'm really passionate about, making sure everyone knows how important yoga blocks are for your practice, especially if you are a beginner. I mean, I use blocks in every practice. They're right next to me right here. I wanted to do something really cool, again, for the live chat, for those of you who are, again, in my community and on this call, is the first 10 people who buy the Beginner Yoga Jumpstart. I think it's for, if you pay $59 instead of $39, I'm going to ship you 2 yoga blocks totally for free on me. So you pay $20 more, but in the future, in order to get the yoga blocks and the course, I'll charge $39 for each, which is $78. Like basically the yoga blocks, which come with a video on how to use the yoga blocks, and the Beginner Jumpstart course are going to be sold separately, and it'll cost double. So for the first 10 people who want me to ship them yoga blocks as part of Beginner Yoga Jumpstart for $59, free shipping, I will send them to you. And again, check that out in the link below this page. That's just for the first 10, and then it'll go up to $69, and then it'll eventually be $79. So the cool thing about this too is that I think a lot of people, I was talking about this with my friend the other day, how teachers always tell the beginners, go get 2 blocks. And then they say nothing about how the beginner should use the blocks in the studio class whatsoever. So the blocks, if you do the package with the blocks, it also comes with an exclusive video that teaches you how to use the blocks. And I literally show you doing one of my own classes, how I use the blocks in every single pose. So if you have limited flexibility, even if you don't, I'm really flexible and I still love using blocks. First 10 people jump on that, and I wanted to announce that on the live chat because I'm really excited about it. Maybe it just cut out for a second. Okay, so to go to the Instagram stuff, just to follow up on Anna's question with Instagram, I want to start doing, I don't even want to call them challenges on Instagram. I think the challenges are cool. I don't personally partake in a lot of them just because I never have someone who can take a photo of me doing a yoga pose. And I feel like that's sort of required for a lot of these challenges. But one thing I did want to start doing with you guys is that if you tag me in your Instagram photos and it's a picture of you doing a pose and you tag me at Larkin Yoga TV, and then you tell me that you want me to give you a yoga fix, and you can use the hashtag yoga fix, or you can just tag me at Larkin Yoga TV and say you want a yoga fix. What I will do is I will actually comment on your photo and critique your pose. So I think it was Shelby and I just emailed, and she sent me a photo of her doing wheel with her question. And I was actually able to email her back and give her some really good pointers, which, I don't know, for me, that's way more exciting than just hashtagging some pose, is to actually get feedback on it if you want feedback. So if you're taking photos of yourself doing poses, if it's part of some challenge or someone else's challenge, I don't care. Maybe we can have our own challenge one day, but I'm more interested in actually helping you guys fix your poses and get advice and do things safely. So again, if you tag me in Instagram or in our new Facebook group, which is also one of the announcements for today, we have a new Facebook group. So we were 10,000 people on my Facebook page, and it just felt big, and I wanted a more intimate setting where we could all really interact, those of us that are doing yoga on a weekly or daily basis on my channel, so I can give you feedback. And that's another thing I'd love for you to do, in the Facebook group is to post photos of you doing poses and then tell me if you want feedback on them, and I will give feedback. And of course, this is all completely positive, supportive feedback. And I'm hoping that because the group is a private group and we have just much fewer people in there, that people might feel comfortable doing this. So just say you want a yoga fix and I will give you my tips for you on the pose. So comment, let me know if this is all making sense. If you can still hear me, if you like this idea of doing the Instagram, tag me, say you want a yoga fix, getting advice thing, both on Instagram and our Facebook group. If you haven't yet joined the Facebook group, you're gonna want to do that. The link again is right below this video. So it's bit.ly Brett group or something, and I can approve you the moment you do it. I have it open on another computer right here, so I can even do that. So yeah, throw some notes in the comments, guys, if you can, of course, still hear me. And yeah, if you like this idea of doing the Instagram thing with actual feedback, because I think that would be really, really fun. So some other announcements we have that I wanted to tell you guys is that I have a podcast now. So you should definitely subscribe to that. Again, all the links of everything I'm talking about are below the video. But I know I've gotten some feedback on the first episode, and there's actually 4 episodes live already, and you can subscribe on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and of course I'm going to be posting them all on YouTube. But if you have requests of stuff you want to do an entire podcast episode on, I'm really trying to focus the podcast on how to integrate yoga into our daily life in a way that's meaningful. So a lot of yoga hacks. The one I recorded yesterday is my 5 favorite healthy food hacks, which I think someone also wrote in as a question for this live chat, wanting to know what the healthy ways I eat are. We can talk more about that too if you guys want to. Just throw it in the comments. But yeah, so definitely join the group, listen to the podcast. And let's see what people are saying. Lynn says, when I normally exercise, I warm up beforehand to prevent injuries. You don't seem to do that. How are muscle tears prevented? Do you mean, I do warm up. I don't know if you're talking about a specific video where you maybe see me doing stuff or demoing stuff where I'm not super warmed up, but I usually warm up beforehand. So yeah, Lynn, if you can give me a specific example or a specific video you're talking about, I always suggest warming up. And my favorite way to warm up is with half sun salutes. You know, just inhale up, exhale, fold, inhale, flat back, exhale, fold, and repeat. That's a great way to get a lot of heat in the body without doing any chaturangas, without even doing plank. And it really just warms up the whole body and stretches a lot of the major areas. So I definitely warm up, everyone. Let's see. So let's go. I want to do another email question. Aisling, she said, I would like to know what other fitness activities you do besides yoga and what kind of diet you follow, as you're always looking radiant and glowing. Loving the podcast. Love listening while I'm cleaning or cooking. Okay, cool. So I think this maybe ties into Lynn's question a little bit too, maybe a little. So other fitness activities I do besides yoga. I love every fitness activity, or most fitness activities. So one thing I used to teach and used to really love doing is the bar method. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with that or how much the bar method has gone international, but basically it's based off the Lottie Burke method. Lottie Burke was a dancer, and it's lots of little tiny muscle, micro movements, and it really builds long, lean muscle. And it's really, really hard. It is so hard, you guys, especially if you were doing it right. Because again, it's all these little micro movements. And I used to love teaching it because it's just very different from teaching yoga. So that is something that I was doing a lot, and I'm not doing as much now because I'm not teaching it and the studio is a little farther away from where I moved. But that is something I would recommend checking out if you are loving yoga, but you want to do something that is a little more toning and sculpting. I mean, something that's more like a workout class where you're going to use little weights and really sculpt long, lean muscle. So bar method, something to check out. There's about 16 versions of it. There's Pop Physique, Pop 57, the bar method, booty bar. I mean, there's all these, it's all the same thing. It's all the Lottie Burke method. So bar method, something you could check out. And I think it's a really good complement to yoga, because my biggest critique of the bar method is it doesn't incorporate enough stretching. So if you're someone listening to this and you're doing tons of bar method and not enough yoga, I think you really need to do both, and it's a good blend. My other fitness activity that I do is dance class. That's pretty much the number one thing I do right now. I go to sort of like a modern hip hop class. It's really fun. It's a great workout. You're sweating and moving the whole time. And I really, really love dance class as well as a complement to yoga. And then the other fitness activity I do is running. And if you're subscribed to my email newsletter, I wrote 2 or 3 weeks ago a little post about how I thought I could never run or run a great distance. And now I'm running 3 miles multiple times a week. So I'm definitely not a marathoner or even half marathoner. I have no aspirations to run in that kind of hardcore way. But I am really enjoying running, and whether you just go for a power walk or run, that's something else. So bar method, dance class, and running, those are the things I do other than yoga. Aisling, I hope I'm saying your name right. And you know, I don't follow a specific diet, kind of like I hate rules when it comes to yoga. I hate rules when it comes to diet and food as well. So I don't follow Atkins or low carb or anything like that. But I do try to eat healthy. And my definition of that is trying to avoid sugar, trying to avoid Doritos and cookies and things that are just really obvious no-nos, packaged products, right? I try to eat complex carbs, which would be oatmeal and granola and lots of yogurt, things like that. I do eat dairy. I'm not a vegetarian. I think it's amazing yogis who are vegetarians, but I personally am not. I find that when I've experimented with that, and some of my other yoga teacher friends have had the same thing, that that meat has been good, that you need occasional meat. I don't eat a ton of meat, really, very rarely. I do eat fish. So yeah, there's a blog that I love where I get probably 90% of my recipes. So I'm going to recommend that to you guys. It's called Half Baked Harvest. So Half Baked Harvest, just Google it. And I really love the woman who runs that blog. And I cook a lot of healthy stuff with her. And I make a lot of vegetarian recipes with quinoa and vegetables and cheese that I really like. So, and then I just try to eat complex carbs as much as possible, like wheat bread instead of white bread, coconut oil instead of butter, and definitely listen and subscribe to the podcast to get my 5 favorite healthy food hacks, because I think that'll give you guys a much better sense of how I'm eating. I have some really good tips in there, so don't miss out on that one. So Aisling, I hope that answered your questions. Let's go over to the live chat, see if anyone else is... Oh, Stephanie says she loves the idea of doing the Instagram challenges with actual feedback. Cool. I do too. I don't get the Instagram challenge thing really. I don't get a lot of some of this more, like I'm still trying to figure out how to use Snapchat. If you guys want me to be on Snapchat, let me know, because I will be. Right now I'm just trying to figure out how it works. But yeah, there's a lot going on with the yoga community on Instagram that I don't totally get. And I think it would be really cool to actually give each other feedback. So tag me. And we'll do that. And Lynn, I'm so glad I answered your question. A few classes I've gone to seem to jump into stretches. Okay, and Lynn, you know, you're right. Some classes do just, when you're first doing a half sun salute, for example, bend your knees, right? I mean, just because the teachers may be demoing it full on doesn't mean that you need to be doing it full on yourself, right? Take some time. I always do the first couple forward folds with my knees bent. And I'm always really trying to take care of my body that way. So I would encourage you to do the same, guys. It's all about personalizing your practice and doing what feels good for you. So Jerry asked, and this was through email. Hi, Jerry. She said, what are your top tips for fitting in some yoga when you're out of town? I know fitness can go out the window when we're away from home. So what can we do to continue taking care of ourselves when we're on the go? So doing yoga not in a yoga studio, doing yoga when you're away from home, actually just doing yoga when you're not in a yoga studio is the focus of my Always Be Stretching course. So if it's something you're interested in and you really want to hack yoga into your daily life outside of the yoga studio with props, I would suggest checking out my Always Be Stretching course, because I give you literally 500 ways that you can stretch while you're watching TV and traveling and in an airplane. I literally have a whole video about stretching in an airplane. So check that out, Jerry, and anyone else who is interested in that topic. And then I have in my notes here that I created a special coupon code for you guys called Live 729. So Live, L-I-V-E, and then 729, which is today's date. And if you use that on the Always Be Stretching homepage, alwaysbestretching.com, or just find it on my website, it'll take the price down from $247 is the cost with the 5 props and all the videos, down to $199, which was one of the launch prices that I did a while ago. So you'll still get it at the most discounted rate with coupon code LIVE729. So check it out. And I also have an option where you can just buy the hack videos, and that's $50 or something. So if you want to really start incorporating stretching when you're traveling, when you're away from home, even when you're at your desk, even when you're in your bed, all these cool things that I'm really into, that is kind of the signature course. And I've put so much work into it. We have an awesome community of people who are in it. I think over 40 people have taken it so far. We're all in a private Facebook group. It's really, really cool. But Jerry, to give you just a quick tip now, since we're on the live chat, is I view every hotel room I go into as basically a yoga prop toyland, because hotels usually have a lot of pillows and weird decorative pillows. So I'm always thinking like, ooh, could I use this as a bolster? Could I use this as, you know, a pillow to prop me up in some way? So there's a lot of stuff you can do when you travel to just stretch in your hotel room. And again, the course has so many videos about this, but whether it's just doing reclined pigeon or just doing some stretching on the floor with blankets, I really recommend trying to incorporate stretching and fitness into your travel, because when you're traveling is when your body is the most stressed out and your nervous system is in chaos, and when you need that help the most. And of course, always going for a quick run, hitting up the gym in the hotel if there is one. But I know what you mean, because I've been in situations where I'm just in the middle of nowhere. And that's why you need to know how to always be stretching with and without props. Because even if you can't run outside because you're in the middle of Michigan winter, and even if there's no gym in your hotel, you can always stretch in your hotel room or wherever you're staying by doing mainly exercises on the floor where you stretch. And it's also really relaxing. So I hope that helped a little bit. Let's look over in the comments. Viper Black, is yin yoga a more effective way to gain more flexibility if you have a really tight body? You know, I'm going to say yes to that one. Yin yoga is amazing. And if you're really working on flexibility, get cardio in, right? Go running, go for a dance class, do karate, do whatever it is you do for your cardio. But if flexibility is the #1 thing you're working on, I would do yin yoga. I would go with yin yoga. I think I have 3 or 4 yin yoga classes up if you Google yin yoga and my name, and I'm going to make more. And again, not to keep harping back on the Always Be Stretching course, guys, but that course is all about yin yoga. I give you 6 routines that are yin routines that you do with the props. So just as an FYI, there's a lot of yin, and I even have a whole video about the philosophy of yin in that course. But I think it is a more effective way to gain flexibility. And you know, Viper Black, I would really maybe recommend it for you, because the reality is, depending what your fitness goals are, traditional vinyasa classes, it's like, yes, you're getting some stretching in, but you're also risking injuring yourself because vinyasa yoga is very challenging and it's a lot of work on our wrists. And if you're really just after flexibility, it's like, go to the source of truth, just go to the root of what's really going to make that better. And that is yin yoga. Muscles take a long time to stretch and open. Yin yoga, we hold everything for 3 to 5 minutes. It can be so painful at times holding poses for that long, but that's really how long the body needs to open. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you. So many birthday wishes. So my birthday was Friday, but I wanted to celebrate with you guys. So it's just a couple days later, and we're going to do the giveaway. So that's still coming. Oh, Jen says hi, and she had to restart her browser. It's Julie Pie. Can power yoga build muscle by itself? And Sean says hi. Oh, you're also a Leo. Of course you are. Power yoga can build muscle for sure. I think my shoulders are the way they are from so much chaturanga. And you are doing weight exercises because all the poses are on, you are doing weight bearing activity on your own arms and legs. So it can definitely build muscle, but it's Julie Pie. I don't know when you jumped on the live chat, but if you're really looking to build muscle and sculpt and get that long, lean dancer body, I would suggest complementing yoga with the bar method. And when I do the replay of this, if you want to hear my whole spiel about bar method and what I like and don't like about it, just rewatch this, or I'll put a way that people can find that specific point. But yeah, if you're going after major muscle sculpting, I would recommend doing something in addition to yoga. But yoga's going to do it. It's just, taking it up that extra notch. Okay, Ava, do you have any tips for me since I'm a beginner yogi? I have 13 years prior dance experience. Ava, hello. I also come from a dance background, and my advice to you and my tips is to just start doing yoga because you're going to love it. And because you are a dancer, you probably are quite flexible. So I'm going to really challenge you to focus on strength in the poses and maybe backing off a little bit and finding more of a long spine and pulling up through your legs and kind of focusing on the strength side and maybe pulling back and holding back a little bit on the flexibility side as you start your yoga journey. And you are going to love doing yoga because as a dancer, they just blend really well together. And I would also check out both the beginner and the advanced classes on my channel because as a dancer, you may be able to jump into the advanced classes right away just because you're used to picking up choreography and movement. So see what works best for you. And I'm so excited you are starting and joining. Okay, Julie says, thank you. Guys, if you have additional questions, those of you who are here live, throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to keep doing the email questions because I felt really bad because last time I didn't do those at all. Oh, Stephanie, my wrists tend to get sore during practice. Do you have any suggestions on products to use to help support the wrists? I do. I'm going to go get it. Stay here. Okay, I'm back. These are yoga jellies. If you go to brettlarkin.com and then navigate to my yoga props, it's in a drop-down area. I have a link to where you can get these. So these are silicone yoga gel pads. And basically what's cool about them is, I'm gonna move this so I can make sure I show this right. Instead of just pressing, so when we do down dog, for example, our wrist is at an acute angle, right? It's like at an acute, not 90 degrees, but getting there, right? And what the yoga jelly does is you actually, just so you guys know, because I was clarifying this with someone else on a Always Be Stretching call recently, you don't want to have your wrist on the gel pad. That's not what it's designed for. You want to have the heel of your hand towards the front of the yoga jelly. These are called yoga jellies. And then now when I do my down dog, my wrist is at less of an acute angle, right, than it would be when it's on the pad. So these are awesome. And I also know the founder of the company and the woman who makes them. They're organic and natural, and she's a great person. There are a couple imitator brands if you look on Amazon, and I'd really suggest just getting this one. A lot of my in-person students have gotten these based off my recommendation, and they love them. They're definitely a little pricey. If you are really on a budget, something I saw someone do is they took sponges from their kitchen and they doubled up the sponge and then they duct taped the sponge and then they were putting the heel of their hand on the sponge on their yoga mat. And it was sort of like an imitator yoga jelly. And so if you're good with DIY stuff, you can do that as well. And Stephanie, I use the yoga jellies a lot in my own practice because my wrists flare up, especially my left wrist. And I find if I use the yoga jelly, it really helps. I also have a video just on yoga jellies. If you Google on my channel, Brett Larkin Yoga Jellies review, you'll see me talk about it a lot more because I use it also under my knees. You can throw them anywhere. They're just like little padding. So I throw it under my knee when I'm doing camel pose or low lunge. It's really awesome. So hopefully that answers your question. And yeah, another thing you can do is just wrist exercises, circle them out, do this, yeah. Erin. Hi, Brett. I seem to not keep my shoulders aligned right. I keep them down and back and in the socket, but when doing side angle or trikonasana, they always seem to wonk out. Any tip? Okay, so Erin, first of all, kudos to you. Big kudos to be aware of this, because I think it's something that not everyone has a lot of awareness around. It seems like you know the poses that it's really hard to get the shoulder back. So I know exactly what you're talking about because I struggle with this too. So in side angle, it's so easy for your shoulder to naturally gravitate up towards your ear. Same with triangle pose. And one trick you can do is to bend your elbow. So when you bend the elbow, it's a lot easier to glide your shoulder blade down and back. Do you kind of notice that? I don't know if you guys are weird and want to try everything as you talk about it, like I do, but that's a big trick that I use a lot to find my shoulders, because it's nice to feel that reach and that extension, but then it's like, let's slow down. Let's bend the elbow for a second, keep the shoulder blade down, keep it plugging down, and then really mindfully re-extend. You see how this looks different from this? Comment to me, guys, if you can see the difference between those two things. So I can see it just visually looking at myself right now. So that's a little trick that you can do with yourself. It's like, oh, I'm reaching, this feels so good in class. Okay, well, let's just pause for 1 minute, bend the elbow, re-ground, re-slide the shoulders down, and then re-extend. And what you will see is it is so much work to keep your shoulders on your back. And huge kudos to you, Erin, for being so aware of this, because this is a subtle advanced thing. So it's cool that you knew exactly the problem poses, and I know exactly what you're talking about. So that's really cool. Okay, let's do another email question. Just because we talked about the yoga jellies, I got 2 or 3 or 4 people who emailed in about how do you develop hand and wrist strength to do crane, crow, headstand, etc. I've even noticed holding wheel for 3 breaths can strain my wrists. Okay, cool. People are saying you can feel the difference with this thing. Yeah, right? Yeah, the bending the elbow is such a good trick. Do it in Warrior 1 too, guys. Warrior 1, your hands are up here. You're always so excited to be in Warrior 1 and your shoulders tend to creep up. So it's like, just bend the elbows in Warrior 1, glide everything down and back, and then relift. Yeah. Okay, so talking more about hand and wrist strength to achieve crane, crow, headstand, Marianne and Shelby and other people, a lot of wrist questions. So for how to get wrist strength to achieve these arm balances, it's core strength, guys. Sorry. You should be putting very little pressure on your hands and wrists when you're doing any arm balance. It's all about the core strength. And I know that's annoying and I know it's bad news, but you really don't want to have any pressure on your wrists. And I have a video releasing really soon on downward facing dog and how to do downward dog if you're stiff. And even if you are super advanced, I'm really hoping you're going to check out that video, because I show you a whole new way to pull up out of your wrists, and it's really, really cool. But if you want to work on your core strength, because someone else asked a question, I'm going to find it. Erin had also asked, how can I build enough core strength to do crane and one-legged crow and all that stuff? So people who are asking about wrist strength, forget about wrist strength. You want to have core strength. And if your wrists hurt, maybe do it on yoga jellies, or maybe don't do arm balances. Arm balances aren't a huge part of my practice. My wrists are pretty small. I just think I'm I'm delicately boned. I don't feel like my bones are really as strong, and my wrists are maybe as strong as some other people. So I just don't prioritize that in my practice. I'm so much more focused on not injuring my wrist than I am on getting into some certain pose just to say I did it. Again, my priority is to take care of my body, to take care of me, to stay in balance. For me, doing a lot of crane and crow. I mean, it's fun sometimes and I do them, but that's not helping bring my body into balance. For me, that's not what my practice is about at a deep, deep level. Now, if for you it is, that's awesome. But, you know, if your wrists aren't liking it, maybe you need to reevaluate why you're going after that. And for those of you that want to build the core strength, I would really suggest blocks. And the best thing to do for core strength, besides doing crunches, right? Do crunches. I have a lot of cool ab routines on my channel, so work up your core strength that way. If you haven't done my free yoga for abs class, which is my opt-in on my website, that one is really amazing, and it talks about the subtle, deep, deep core, which is what you need to do all these poses. But the other one is take your blocks and you take them on either side of your body. And have you ever seen, usually it's guys you see do it, they're really strong and they're in lotus or their legs are crossed and they press onto the floor and they lift their knees up towards their shoulders and they're using their lowest abs to, you know, to press down and then lift up. If you have blocks, you can practice doing that. And again, we're not on the floor, but you have blocks and then you practice, if you're sitting cross-legged, try to get your knees to your chest and press into the blocks. And that really, really fires up your low abs. And it's because it's those muscles that you need to lift yourself up into crow or some of those arm balances. It's not even so much these abs, it's these abs way down here. So I hope that answers the question a little bit. Happy birthday from Italy, Valentina. Thank you. Cool. Okay. Any other questions in the live chat? Throw them in. Otherwise, I'm going to do a couple more email questions. We'll do our giveaway. And let's see. Sabine had written in. She said, total yoga beginner, total newbie. I'm having such a difficult time with the breathing part. Sometimes I get out of breath despite trying to keep a steady flow with inhaling and exhaling. Sometimes I can't seem to even draw a full breath. Do you have any tips of how I can improve my breathing, or will this go away with more practice? So it will go away with more practice, but if you are out of, it's so normal to be out of breath, but if you're really that out of breath, I think you're probably going to classes that are too hard or too fast. So this happens a lot for total beginner newbies. They go to a studio and people are moving so fast and they just jump into a regular or advanced class. And it's really hard to keep your breathing slow and steady in that situation. So Sabine, I really empathize and I understand what you're saying. What I would suggest is try to go to beginner classes where people move more slowly. Check out my beginner free playlist on YouTube, which is full of classes like that, especially the beginner morning sequence and the complete beginner class, which is an hour. And then consider getting the beginner yoga jumpstart, which I just announced today, which again is $39 until August 10th. So it's on discounts. The price of everything is going to go up. Again, in the version where I ship you the 2 blocks is $59 instead of eventually that's going to be $79. So that has 4 exclusive classes just for beginners. And I really slow it down and we do breathing and we keep it safe and you still get a workout. I promise you still get a workout. And they're all little 15-minute morning sequences and I put them in a schedule for you of which to do on which day of the week and all that good stuff. So again, the link to that is below this video. It's also on my site, Beginner Yoga Jumpstart. Definitely check that out. And you know, your breathing will improve. It will. Just focus on breathing in and out through the nose and taking breaks and going to classes that are the right level for you. I hope this helps answer your question a little bit. Yeah, Anna says, that's really fine because I see a lot of yogis so concerned about arm balances and gorgeous but impossible inversion poses safety first. I'm like Mrs. Safety First. You'll notice on my YouTube channel, I don't teach a lot of inversions or arm balances because I really think that those poses, you know, just present a higher risk than others. And I don't like the idea of someone doing that with me virtually when I can't see them and supervise them. You know, the rest of yoga is really safe and it's fine, but doing headstands and handstands, I do have a handstand prep video if you want to look that one up, but you know, there's so much to enjoy with yoga. And I think some of these crazy poses can get a little bit ego driven. So I think it's just a place where we can practice just checking in with ourselves saying, hey, is this pose really important to my development as a yogi? Or do I just want to do this because it looks cool? And I actually might be hurting my body, which is the opposite of you know, taking a yogic approach. So I hear you. Carla W, bridge pose. My arms are weak and I can't raise my body. Any tips? Yes, do bridge with a block. Sorry, keep harping on blocks, but if you are a beginner, really take advantage of the beginner yoga jumpstart thing I have going on right now, where I ship you 2 blocks and 8 videos and then a bonus video on how to use the blocks. Because blocks are just life-changing. They're gonna make your practice so much more interesting, so much safer. So what you can do is, if you have the block, and if you don't have blocks, you know, you could use a book, but for bridge, I think a block would be better. And you know, if your arms aren't strong enough, you just lie in bridge pose and put the block underneath your sacrum. I can't do bridge pose standing up in my kitchen. It's just not gonna work. But you know what I'm talking about. You just be lying down and the block is underneath your sacrum, so you can get that same lift and elevation without having to use your arms. That would be my suggestion. And another thing for not raising your body if your arms are weak, another thing I'd say is think of it more from your core. Again, coming back to the core. So it's less about using your arms to press yourself up and more about your core kind of tightening and your cheeks squeezing to tighten to get you up. I don't know how helpful that is, but I'm hoping that's a little bit of a tip for you, Carla. Let me know in the comments. I'm trying here. And think about blocks for sure, especially if you feel like certain parts of your body are weak. So you can compensate with the blocks and keep yourself safe. Another happy birthday from Delaney. Thank you. I feel like you guys keep birthday and I'm not getting enough questions. Okay, we'll do a few more email questions, then we got to do the challenge. Let's see. Jen had asked about binds, different breathing techniques, bandhas, and their purpose and benefits. So I think I want to do a video for you guys on the bandhas. And binding, kind of similar to our theme with inversions, binds are cool. And the goal of binds is to get you deeper into the pose with a longer spine. But I find sometimes that the bind isn't serving me, that I feel so much better just being in side angle and staying long rather than being in side angle and being bound. These are really personal decisions that I think each yogi has to make for themselves. But what I would encourage everyone to question is, why do we all, once we get to a certain level, need to start binding everything to take it further? Is that really the right next step for you and your body? What if you feel really great not binding? What if you feel more open in your chest and you're getting more rotation in the spine without adding the weird shoulder bind? The purpose of binds is to get you deeper into the pose with a long spine. If when you do binds, that's not happening for your body, that's not the result, I wouldn't recommend doing them, right? So again, my biggest message for all of you is to personalize your practice, do what works for you, forget what the outside world is saying you should or shouldn't do, or what's the linear next step of what an advanced yoga person does. I mean, just forget it. And my definition of an advanced practice is a highly personalized practice where you're so connected with your body, so plugged into yourself and what you need and what hurts you and what helps you, and that you are modifying and adjusting everything in order to best take care of yourself. Because for me, yoga is about self-care and making my whole life better, not just looking like awesome in some one class, one afternoon a week, you know? So I hope that helps explain some stuff about binding. Not that you were even saying we should bind, Jen. I'm just like, how did I get on a rant about binding? And different breathing techniques, yes, we can cover all of that stuff. And the breathing techniques, guys, are there to help us slow down our thoughts, slow down our mind, right? That's why we breathe in that way, is to start slowing everything down. Sabine wrote in, I'm a total newbie. Take the beginner yoga jumpstart. And sometimes get out of breath. Oh, we covered this one, but someone else was a total newbie. Clarissa. Here she is. She said, I had hip surgery. My left hip is very tight. I can't do many poses on my left side. Do you have any advice how to loosen up my hip? Yeah, what I would do, Clarissa, is I would do a lot of reclined pigeon. That is this one. Reclined pigeon. Ooh, are my feet clean? Reclined pigeon lying on your back on your left hip and taking it really easy and going really slow with that, and trying to slowly open up your left hip. And I have a video, I think it's called 8-minute hip stretches. The audio in that video is not awesome because it was before I got my new audio system, so I'm really sorry, but it's not that bad. It's good enough that you can do it and follow along. I think that video, Clarissa, will give you a lot of ideas because I show multiple stretches for the hip that you can do lying on your back. And if you have had surgery and one hip is really tight, I think that's going to be kind of the way you want to approach it, with this sort of yin restorative approach. You also might be a good candidate for my Always Be Stretching course, so check that out. Guys, if you missed the Always Be Stretching bandwagon and boat, it sold out in May. It almost sold out in July. It's still July. The cutoff was July 4th. If you still want that at the discount price, just for people who are on the live chat or watch the replay, you can still get it at the discount price by using the coupon code LIVE729, which is today's date, all run together. This is all detailed in the description below this video as well. So you can get it at the discount price for the next 48 hours if you want to join in on that. And we have a live call for Just Always Be Stretching tomorrow night. So if you jump on it really soon, you can even talk to us all on the phone and hang out tomorrow, which is going to be really fun on a conference call. But yes. Okay. So let's talk about the giveaway, unless people have any other huge questions here. Yeah, let's talk about the giveaway. Okay, so what I'm giving away is a Chatra yoga mat bag. All of you know probably Chatra. They have the gorgeous, gorgeous bolsters that you've seen in my video. If you guys want to invest in bolsters, I think Chatra is the way to go, because why get a regular looking bolster when you could get one that's beautiful? And this is my Chatra yoga mat bag. And it's so cute. They have this little zipper so you can put your wallet and your keys and stuff. Ooh, I even had stuff in this one. And yeah, you put it around you like this. The strap is adjustable. They're just beautiful. The fabric is so high quality. So this is my Chatra yoga mat bag. The two that I have to give away, although if you win and you'd rather have mine because you like the design more, I'm more than happy to give you mine. It just won't arrive in plastic because I've used it a few times, but it's totally clean. There's nothing wrong with it. Otherwise, the ones I have that are unopened is this red one. So it's the same design. It's just red. Not same design, same structure. Same structure with the little pocket and everything. And then the other one, which is super cute, is black. So I want to do more giveaways and maybe do them on Instagram or maybe on our Facebook group. If you haven't joined our private Facebook group, join the private Facebook group. But I wanted to give away one for sure today. And if you win today, you get your choice of which you want of the three. If you like the red, the black, or my original one, which is, I don't know how to describe this color. It's really pretty though. So here's how you can win the Chatra yoga mat bag. Put in the comments which one's your favorite and what you think is the prettiest, because I'm just curious to get your guys' thoughts on that. This is how you can win. So the number one thing you have to do is to join our Facebook group. So that link is right below the video. It's bit.ly/Brett Yoga Group. Okay. So join the Facebook group. And then all you do to submit to win is post on the Facebook page. And it's private, so no one can see it except me and the other people in the group. So you don't need to feel embarrassed or anything like that. You're going to post on the Facebook page, and you have to do 3 things in your post. You have to, 1, tell me what you want to see more of on my channel or what your favorite class is. This does not have to be a novel. You could just be like, I want more meditations. I want more 15-minute morning sequences. I want more ab classes. Just whatever it is, just let me know. Or you can just say, hey, my favorite class is X. I want more of that. So literally a sentence or 3 words. Let me know what your favorite yoga class is or what you want to see more of. And then number 2, tell me what your favorite yoga pose is. And then number 3, guess what my favorite yoga pose is. And you can just put these 1, 2, 3. So put 1, I want more abs classes or whatever. 2, my favorite pose is crow pose. 3, I think Brett's favorite pose is handstand. Probably not a good guess based on what we talked about, protecting your wrists and not doing tons of crazy inversions and arm balances if it's not safe in this conversation, but just whatever your guess is. And this is all just for fun. And then out of everyone who does that on my Facebook page, I will pick one winner by Saturday, and I will let you know that you won, and then I will mail the mat bag to you anywhere in the world for free. So if you were seeing the replay of this video and you didn't catch it live and it is before Saturday, what day is it? If it's before Saturday, August 1st, and I'll do it at midnight, so you have all day Saturday. I will pick a winner, and you can win a Chatra Yoga mat bag. Jennifer, happy birthday in down dog. Only the balls of my feet touch the mat. My legs always have to be bent at the knees. This hasn't changed in 2 years of doing yoga. Do you think that's okay? Jennifer, yes, that is totally okay. You were doing it the right way. And again, this weekend on Saturday, I'm going to release the down dog video. And it's so timely and it's so great because the down dog video, I think it's called How to Do Downward Dog as a beginner or something like that, but you're going to get a lot out of it even if you're an advanced yogi, because I talk a lot about protecting your wrists, which was sort of a big theme. Oops, so I hit my window. Big theme of today's live chat, protecting your wrists. And then I also talk about doing down dog with bent knees and why doing down dog with bent knees is actually better than doing down dogs with straight legs. So Jennifer, don't stress about having your knees bent. Keep your knees bent, and definitely watch that video when it comes out on Saturday. I think it's going to really resonate with you. And then Sonia, do you have to approve new members of your private Facebook group? Yes, I do. So a lot of you already joined. Sorry, I'm looking over here because I have a second computer, and I'm going to be approving you all. If you request to join right now, I'll approve you instantly. A lot of you have already approve. So I'm going to approve all of you. So if you just requested, you are all now approved. So that means you can enter and you have a chance to win. And I will be monitoring it. It's on my phone, guys. So literally, if you request to join, it's very rare that you'll have to wait more than a couple minutes to get approved. And my goal here with this group is I just wanted to keep it more private, right? We're 10,000 people on my Facebook page, which is really cool, but I don't feel like the level of engagement is really where it should be at for having that many people. And I feel like maybe people don't feel safe posting either a picture of themselves doing a pose that they want feedback on. Remember, we're going to start doing that now as well, right? So you can tag me, Brett Larkin Yoga, on Instagram, or just post to our Facebook group now, right? And say, hey, I want a yoga fix on this. Hey, I want feedback on this pose. What am I doing well? What am I not doing well? And this is completely inspired by me doing this over email with a couple of you. And I'm just like, why don't we do this all the time? So again, to win the Chatra Yoga mat bag, 1, request for a class or tell me your favorite class. Tell me what you want to see more of. 2, tell me your favorite yoga pose. 3, guess my favorite yoga pose. And I, of course, will be telling you all when I announce the winner what my favorite yoga pose is. And obviously that's a really hard decision, and I have so many favorites, but I mean, it's like if I had a gun to my head, I know the one I'd say, and I want to know what that is for you guys as well. So let me know if there's any last questions here in our final moments. Otherwise, this is farewell for now, but we can stay super connected in the Facebook chat, and we'll do another live chat soon. And again, remember to take advantage of some of the cool things going on right now. Beginner Yoga Jumpstart, $39 for 8 class downloads and 4 exclusive classes for my beginners. I made this for you. It was really based off your requests. I really tailored the classes around what you wanted. Link below this video to get that at the early bird discount and to take advantage first 10 people who want me to send them yoga blocks as part of that package. I think that's a really cool, I'm excited about it. I really hope you guys take me up on that and let me ship you yoga blocks and get the higher package, because yoga blocks will change your life for the better in so many ways. And these are my favorite yoga blocks. If I were buying blocks for myself, this is exactly what I would get. It's what I got for you guys. It's what's in my Always Be Stretching kit. If you guys missed out on Always Be Stretching and you want to check that out, alwaysbestretching.com, or find it through my website. Again, you can get a discount on that for the next 48 hours or so using coupon code LIVE729. And it'll take the price down to $199, which is the original price that I did for my close community members. And of course, we're always having new free stuff on YouTube all the time. So few last questions here. Lynn says, thank you for making yoga more accessible. I say, Lynn, thank you for doing yoga with me. I love all you guys so much. It brings me so much joy to create classes for you and get your feedback and read your comments. It's like the best birthday gift ever. So just hang out with you all and talk. And Anna says, thanks for the live chat. You sent me little hearts. Ooh, I need to find out what that emoji is. I want to be able to text that to people. And Leslie says, okay, so a couple last questions. Just real quick. She says, thank you for your classes. If I miss a couple days of doing yoga, it's so difficult for me to get in a positive headspace to get back to yoga. Do you have any advice about staying positive? Ooh, okay, so Leslie, we're at the end of the live chat, but that is such a good question. And I will do for you, sorry guys, it's so hard to do the live chat because there's like 6 screens going at once and I'm trying to improve you guys who are coming into the group as well. But Leslie, I'll do a podcast on it. How's that? We'll do a podcast just on staying positive, positive thinking, how to get back into yoga class if you missed a couple days, because I know that feeling when you're really sore and really stiff. And keep in mind, I mean, it's like if you miss a couple days of doing yoga and going to class, well, it's like, could you do a little stretching at home or a little stretching in bed or a little stretching in front of the TV in that interim period to make it a little less difficult for when you come back and go to class? So that's another thing I challenge you on. I will do a podcast on positive thinking and staying positive because I love that theme. But I would also challenge you to try to integrate stretching more into your daily life. So if you miss a class, it's not the be all end all. That's what's really powerful about my Always Be Stretching course and why I'm so passionate about it and why I loved making it and I love preaching it as a lifestyle. Because if you know how to always stretch in any circumstance in your home or in your bedroom with or without props, I mean, that to me is the best possible scenario because it just means you know how to take care of your body all the time, no matter what, and you can always feel good. Erwin, when will you do this again? When do you want me to do it again? I don't know, maybe next month, or if you guys have an idea of how often you'd want to do this. And again, I want your feedback. Let me know what you want to see on my channel. I will make it for you. I'm here serving. This is not about me, right? This is about us. We're a community. We're all doing yoga online together. I want to make the stuff that you guys want to see. I don't want to just make things that I like. You know, so much of the courses I've launched and everything I'm doing is based off of your feedback and wanting to connect with you guys on a deeper level. So if you want to do the live chats more often, just shoot me an email. Let me know in the chat. We can do them more often. And there's one more little question. Oh, Carla W says, what's the hashtag you are using to make accountable for morning yoga? I will join the movement. Carla, it is hashtag always morning yoga. So I'll write that in the chat right now. Always morning yoga. It's really hard to type with my mic right here. So yeah, guys, remember to tag me on Instagram, post your photos in the group, and hashtag always morning yoga if you're doing morning yoga, okay? All right, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here live because it's a lot more fun if we have people live when we do these. So thank you to all of you who showed up and made the time out of your busy day to hang out with me. And I will be approving you for our Facebook group throughout the rest of the day. Don't forget to submit for the challenge. And even if you're watching the replay, you can still win if you watch before Saturday. So from my heart to your guys' hearts, always big hug, big hug. Namaste. Namaste.